I'm Scott.
I'm Russell.
And I'm Leo. This is Spitball. Welcome to Spitball, where three terminal tinkerers and a guest empty our heads of startup and tech product ideas that we have stuck up in there so you can all have them for free. Anything that we say is yours to keep, and we have a friend this week of all three of ours. Scott, who'd you bring along with us?
I brought our good friend Brandon. Brandon is a community builder for a local K-12 school, world traveler, audiophile, and probably the only person I know who's met Morgan Freeman. So welcome, Brandon.
Welcome, Brandon. Dude, what's that story? I don't know that.
It's unfortunate I won't be able to bring the same vibrato that he's got to the podcast here. But actually, it was a high school senior year robotics competition. He was at the national championships. I knew he would be there, and so it was like main incentive to win and get to the national levels. Well, we got to the national level, and sure enough, I found him out by some of the stages and worked my way down through the crowd. Just like went right up to him. I'm wearing a Burger King crown. It says. I had it because I was one of the operators of the robot. It said Chaos King because Holland was Team Chaos, and I walked right up to him. And you ever hand somebody your camera and you're like, take a picture. And of course, this is still quite before everybody's using cell phones for selfies, and you're just like you do that, and you later find out they took the worst picture ever. Well, I handed this person the camera, and I said, please take a picture, and he's like, sure. So I'm sitting there, and I go up to Morgan Freeman. I'm like, hey. It's nice to meet you. And he like pulls his hand back a little bit and he goes, why is that? I'm like, well, you're a smart, I don't remember exactly, but I focused more on like the science and why he was there. It's kind of when he was doing some of the science work too. And I said, and a great performer. And he goes, now that's what I want to hear. And he is cheesing in the Morgan Freeman voice, puts his hand out. Well, the guy I handed the camera to caught every moment perfectly, like the handshake, the burst into smile. Awesome. Like I went back on my little digital camera and I'm flipping through the buttons and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got it. So, but one of the cool stories of the time, the voice of God, was spoke to me.
I had no idea he was a robots guy. That's good to know.
Yeah, it was when at that time he was doing the science, the show where he was exploring, I think, religion or something. But he was just doing a lot more of the science work. And so it was cool to see him there supporting the robots, too.
Well, we should have him for a guest pitch sometime.
Yeah, see if you can get him on
Call
here.
him up after this.
I'll call him up.
Brandon.
I'll call him up.
Mind. Yeah, you've got his number still, I'm sure. Hey, it's me, Brandon. You remember?
Me, the Burger King crowd.
Burger King guy. Oh, man. Well, this week I thought we'd get us started with another round of Best of AliExpress, a game that we've played once or twice before. So in this one, I'm going to go around the circle here and give you three products, one of which I made up, and the other two are real things that are available on AliExpress, Wish.com, Temu, whatever. So as always, we're going to start with our guest. Brandon, I got to tell you about three things. Number one.
All right.
The chicken helmet. A colorful, molded, protective, hard helmet that's slightly larger than a thimble for small pets, such as chickens. The fake pregnancy belly purse. A large, fleshy bump that straps to your belly to make it look like you're pregnant. No more waiting in lines, and it has a small pouch for keys, wallet, or snacks. Or the urn ring, a stainless steel jewelry ring with a screw on the side. Unscrew, dump your loved one's ashes inside, and you can carry them around with you always. Which of those ones is one that my sadistic mind made up?
I can see the belly pack. That's got to be a thing. And people, I like the ones that have these little arms you clip on the chicken too, and it looks like the chicken's running around with arms. So I can believe the hat. I'm gonna go with the urn ring, although it seems pretty compelling. I'm gonna say maybe that one's a stretch.
I'm delighted to inform you that you could indeed purchase an urn ring. I made up the pregnancy belly thing.
Man, there's no way it's the urn ring.
There we go.
Not only that, I don't have a link to a specific product. It's a category on AliExpress. Urn rings.
There you go. Wow.
AliExpress.com/w/wholesale urn rings.
500 for $20. Right?
We've got our idea for tonight then. That's how you sneak those movies into the theater.
That's how you grandpa.
No more feeling bad about it.
It's what he would have always wanted. Hope you tighten that screw down. Man, that is such a weird idea. Scott, Number 1, the AI Plant Whisperer, a small solar plastic device that sticks in the soil and claims to, quote, support 500 languages that send plant thoughts through Android or iPhone.
That is
Number
not going
2,
where I hunted, okay?
the Boo-T, a butt-themed tea strainer made of silicone. The bottom part looks like the poop emoji where you place your tea leaves, and it's attached to a round silicone butt cheeks that float above your cup. And that makes it easy to grab and remove it. Or 3, the reflective full-face visor, a shiny oil slick style rainbow sunglass lens, but full mask Daft Punk style. Only the visor, no helmet.
Oh,
Which of those
man.
3 things is something I made up?
We have Daft Punk that Leo likes. We have tea that Leo likes. I don't know about the Plant Whisperer. I'm gonna go with the Booty. I think you made that one up.
The Booty is unfortunately a real product on Wish.com.
The plant talker?
The Plant Talker is not real yet. Well, I'm sure someone's on it,
That
right?
honestly surprises me.
I know. There's ones that are like soil moisture sensors, but nothing that uses AI to support 500 plant languages yet. Russell, number 1, the parted hair wig for cats. It says what it is on the tin. A small silver hair parted down the middle, perfect for your cat or dog. Number 2, the Dream Selection Crystal Necklaces. A set of what looks to be 12 crystals on chokers for your neck while you sleep. Each color corresponds with dreams that you want to have that night, including food, work problem, or, quote, sexy. Or 3, real starfish curtain ties. Billed as decorative, these starfish arrived and stank like shellfish, and a woman cracked one open to discover there was actually starfish skeletons inside. Which of these things are a real thing, or is not a real thing that you can get on AliExpress?
I'm going to go with the starfish skeleton Russian doll thing, you know?
That's a news headline from The Sun. That was a real thing that happened.
It's cheaper to get starfish than to get an injection mold.
Yeah. A woman bought these starfish curtain ties to go on her shower curtain, and one crumbled and stunk, and all of them were real starfish.
Wow, I guess it's cheaper to just use real starfish, huh?
I guess so. Depressing and kind of gross. All right, so we're 0 for 0, I think. One more time through. Brandon, the facial slimming face bandage. Quote, prevent the cheeks sagging with this bright blue and yellow face mask. It wraps from the top of your head around the chin to hold your face in place. Number 2, running endurance speed training parachute. A big black parachute that you clip to your waist belt to add resistance while you practice running. Or 3, fingerprint randomizer gloves. A pair of gloves with a button on the back on the hand that claims to rearrange the capacitive dust on your fingertips. Which of those is fake?
Can you repeat the first one, please?
Facial slimming face bandage.
Yeah, man, people love beauty gimmicks. I'm gonna go with the third one again. I'm gonna hope it's the third one on this one.
Nah, I made that one up. Yeah, isn't that a
All
fun
right.
idea?
That would
It's
be
like something Tom
crazy
Cruise would have.
Fingerprint changing.
Oh, none of these are claimed to work, Scott.
You know, that's fair.
Products are existent, sure.
I remember
but-
your lightsaber mouth lady from the first one. That cleans her teeth.
That's right. Yep.
The brush licking cat thing. Isn't that the one?
I think that was a Kickstarter one, but yes, that was a good one too.
Did it come in like a multi-pack
The
too?
Licky. Yeah, fun for the whole family.
Oh my gosh.
Scott, number 1, a clear shower liner for electronics. A cross between a transparent shower curtain liner and a closet shoe organizer that has pockets all along the outside to put your iPad, phone, baby monitor, etc., so you can watch your electronics while in the shower. 2,
Got it.
The Toast News, a smart toaster with a phone app that can burn your Google Calendar, Apple reminders, or tasks or weather forecast into your morning toast. Or 3, a wireless Kindle page turner, a small USB-C rechargeable black plastic clip. It attaches to the side of your Kindle, and a clicker remote that presses the button that makes the page turn.
I've started to learn I just need to pick the one that I think Leo would want in life, and so I'm going to go number 2 with the toast burn-in, tells you the weather.
It worked. That's true. Everyone needs that.
That would be incredible. Just print a
Wouldn't that be
Jesus every
fun?
couple of
My
days.
agenda on my toast.
I know they have a
Oh,
toaster
yeah.
where you can draw on the side. It's got a screen. You can draw on the side, and then it burns the image on the
Whoa.
toast.
Exactly. It's a real thing.
This-
but
yeah.
That's
I
cool.
haven't seen one that tries to like put your morning news on it.
No.
Instead of seize the day, it's like eat the day.
Yeah, you got your like S&P 500 graph on your first one, and your
Carpe
Oh, no, it's upside
diem.
down.
Lastly, Russell. Number 1, the heavy workout computer mouse. What looks to be a dense metal USB-C computer mouse with sticky friction pads on the bottom to, quote, increase arm muscles. Number 2, the banana duck lawn ornament. Look out, garden gnomes. This is a foot-tall resin banana being peeled, but the exposed top banana part is a goose or duck neck and head. Or number 3, rechargeable Crocs headlights. Small battery-powered plastic orb ornaments that snap into the holes in your Crocs and last, quote, 300,000 flashes probably. Which of those 3? We got workout mouse, banana
Flashes,
duck ornament,
probably.
or
These are
Crocs
all-
headlights.
They're all ridiculous, but I think that the banana one's got to exist because that's just too crazy, Leo. I hope that didn't come from your own head. So I'm gonna go with the first one.
I made up the first one. You're absolutely
Okay,
right.
yeah.
So far, that seems like a good Kickstarter, though. The
Yeah.
workout mouse.
It seems like something that a gamer like, oh man, I just want to make some money for my
That would
Yeah,
infuriate me.
Little
I would
little
be so
finger
angry
treadmill
at it.
on the tip of your mouse.
The scroll wheel's like resistant. Yeah. You guys have my number. You didn't get it the first round, any of you, and all 3 of you got one on the second. Congratulations, everybody. A 3-way tie. I don't know if that's happened yet on the show. Well done,
I
everyone.
think that means Leo has to go first.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I will go first. So, I learned pretty recently that trains, just your standard Amtrak or freight trains that go through tracks in your town, have small radio beacon transmitters. They have one at the head of the train and one at the end of the train and distributed power unit ones. And that's part of how the conductor system talks to the rest of the train. It puts out little beacon flashes for I'm changing the throttle, I am signaling things. They don't go very far, only a couple of miles. Ham radios have studied the exact frequencies for the head of the train and the end of the train. I originally was wondering, is there a way that we could do like a flight radar 24 or marine traffic type thing where we could have a map of where all the trains are, because there's no API that I found, there's no publicly available data, so that we could know like, oh man, I've only got a couple minutes to make that intersection over there. The city that we live in is like bisected by a train track. That is the most annoying thing, and we could rant about that all day.
Yep.
But that doesn't seem practical. So I've got a practical idea. Imagine a small radar gun detector or like garage door opener size thing that you clip in your car, and it just tells you signal strength increasing or decreasing of the head and the tail of the train.
I like that.
So you've got a little thing that you're looking at near the windshield. You're already sitting at the train tracks, and that first couple go by, and you're like, oh man, is this going to be a 10-second or a 10-minute thing? That's just ruined my day. You could look at a little detector and know, okay, 2 to 4 miles away is the end, or wow, it's coming up quick. It must be there soon. I would use that thing freaking constantly, right? So I think this is doable. You've got just a little SDR like radio receiver and a couple of LEDs, and you're golden. That's the pitch.
I like it. Today we were coming back from a field trip from the school, and just as we were getting about 2 streets away from the school, there's a train track, and of course the arms come down, and I hear the driver go, "Oh no!" Well, this train goes by, and it's 3 cars, and then I don't think the thing's even settled, and they were going back up, and there was like no reason to fret. We were going to be on our way faster than a stoplight, and that would have told us. That would have given us the peace of mind.
At the same time, last week, same track, 15-minute coal train, just stuck. Nothing you could do. I had
It's the worst.
pizza in the car with me in the back, and like I couldn't even go back to get it, and just sitting there smelling a pizza and like, it's getting cold. Yes, Leo, I would love that. It's so niche, but it's perfectly fits our niche.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like this is a common thing, at least along the Midwest, right?
It makes me think of the police radar, though, where people have them in their cars by the windshields, and then the technology kind of changed so fast that now they go off when you drive by automatic doors at stores and stuff too. So like you got to make sure. How do you prevent that from being interfered by trains? Going
Yeah.
different ways or stuff too.
True.
Right. You'd have to. So basically, I've been thinking a lot about that. If you have this signal strength is getting stronger or weaker, going up or going down steadily, because they put out little pings.
Yep.
And you have that for the head and that for the end, I think you'd be able to work out pretty much everything you would care about.
You got 2 reference
Right?
points.
So like, oh wow, they're both really close together. I'm getting the ping at the same time from the start and the end. They're both increasing and decreasing at the same time. That must be a really short train, right? or the tail is really far away, but the head's right next to me. Uh-oh, this is going to be a big one. You might be able to figure that kind of thing out, I think.
Yeah, especially with I feel like with enough data, you could really even know how far away that train is coming down the track.
Yeah.
And then, how far away it's gone from you.
The frequencies, the UHF frequencies that it lives in, to spare you the ham radio tech nerd details, are not very good at like penetrating through stuff. So it's kind of line of sight. Best case scenario, you're looking at 2 to 4 miles away of signal strength if you're like looking straight down the track.
Which is pretty much all that's relevant, right, at a train
Exactly.
stop. So
Exactly. So you wouldn't be able to know like, oh, it's a town over or whatever. It's coming by and you're almost there, kind of thing.
Okay, so I feel like your fate is sealed no matter what. So having this on your car, you're like, damn, I'm screwed anyway. It's just like, what's my time commitment? But you know what? What's a major inconvenience is like when you look at a bus in front of you and you're like, oh crap, it's gonna have to stop at the tracks. And you're like, oh, now we're going to have this crazy zipper merge. It's going to come out of nowhere and everybody's going to try to pass each other. I'm not sure if this is possible, but you get these devices on there and now no buses ever have to stop at a damn train track ever again. You throw 3 or 4 of those bad boys on there because of redundancy, right? Huge market. Every single bus on the planet now doesn't have to stop at a light and create chaos for everybody for trains that aren't even there, Gosh.
We've got warning bells. We've got flashing lights. We've got gates that lower. The trains themselves honk. Do we also really need buses to stop? It kills me. Yeah. I don't know.
See if we get enough of these on there, we can live triangulate the trains if people are connected to their phone or whatever, and now we can show the trains on Google Maps.
Yeah, that's
show
true.
the trains driving around.
I don't know why Amtrak or whoever doesn't just publish that anyway, but that's a story for another day.
Dude, it would be cool if you contributed to the network, right? Like you had your devices out there and it connected to, Can
I tell you where this started?
The open source API.
I want to have a couple of this was originally going to be a separate pitch. A couple of solar powered long range radio vibration sensors to stick
some seismic
on,
sensors,
on the poles near every intersection in my town. So then I could have like wall art where it's like a map of the roads of town, and then the intersections have LEDs that light up if they're being vibrated from far away. I think that'd be cool too, but it wouldn't be like scalable, right? You kind of have to like sneak it and hope the police don't find the devices you plant.
This makes me feel like I feel like it's at least once a week where I think of the Batman movie where they're using the cell phones, microphones, speakers.
Cell phone radars,
and I'm like, you know what? Like that at the time that seemed so possible but so far-fetched. And now with the concepts of AI modeling and data, I'm like, wow, it really is super plausible that they've mapped out our entire houses with our phones and it no longer seems so far-fetched. Like they're mapping it out and they know exactly what that room looks like. So
you're really into Morgan Freeman. This is too powerful for one man to have, Bruce. No, I know exactly what you mean. It'd be great if you could map. If there's other things, I'm sure, in the world that it'd be great if we could just map. But yeah, Amtrak, I know you're listening. Like, put some cell radios and GPS trackers on your dang trains. Publish that data for people, please. Maybe they're embarrassed because it's always late. Then people could mine the data and see like, yep, 70% of the time they are behind schedule.
Dude, that's a great point. My dad takes the train back and forth in Chicago, and you don't ever know if that train's going to be 5 minutes late. Sometimes it's 15. And you're like, damn, am I just going to sit in this parking lot forever? And so it'd be kind of cool to see, stopped at this stop, stopped at that stop. I know where it is, right? So
Transit is an app that'll do that too. It'll kind of crowdsource, there's some people on this bus and we think this is where they are. But it seems like a lot of the municipal people have like solved this. The Chicago trains and stuff, they have like on the platform, 3 minutes until this train arrives usually, right? Don't they have little displays?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
15 minutes late, and then it shows up in 5 minutes, and you're like, what? Why do they even have this? Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
All of it's off. Nothing matters. Because I feel like they're just people that are like, I'm going to take my sweet ass time getting off the train. And so let's just ruin the entire, and every time somebody does that for like 15 stops, and they can never leave early, they can't leave. So Yeah.
Oh, I had rose-colored glasses.
Somehow I'm still having, despite all this technology, I'm still having visions of like somebody riding up on a horse with a lasso getting ready to hijack the train because they've watched their little dongle on their horse telling them, it's a 3-car train. We can round them up, boys. Circle the wagons.
There's a stretch of 4 miles of country that it's about to go through. We saw it on Google Maps. Get 'em.
The idea of a cowboy on his iPhone is lovely.
What's the ham radio say, you know?
That one actually lends itself pretty well to my idea.
Oh, perfect. I can get over to you.
Which I have found myself being a traveler well throughout the U.S., but in other countries. And I think a position I find myself in is often like not always remembering all the stuff I like to do and see and places I like to visit. And I feel like for a long time, this has been years where I regularly think when I'm pulling up Google Maps, man, it would be really nice if I got notifications when I was near the types of things I was interested in such a way that like I wish I could put in thrift stores if I'm ever within 3 miles and then change the distance. If I'm ever within 10 miles of a thrift store, I've always wanted to visit an IKEA. If I'm ever within 60 miles of an IKEA, and then when I'm out and about, my phone just says, hey, by the way, you're within 60 miles of an IKEA. And then you can go ahead and either tap like,
yes.
Okay, great. Yes, this is a known location, or I can't make it there today. Skip it. Remind me again. And for me, that's like, wow. You could put genres, dog parks. I want to know where all the dog parks are in my community when I'm out and about. I don't want to just stare at the map and like study them. Like, let me know if I'm ever within a block of a dog park walking my dog, because then I can stop. And if it's a known or unknown location, and I feel like this lends itself really well to like customizing your genres of places, the types of interests or points of interest, parks, that kind of stuff. And then, you just go about your day and your phone lets you know. And it's really cool because the idea lends itself to businesses being able to run like coupons or promotions when you're nearby to your phone. Like it's a great concept. So for me, like I wish when I was out and about, my phone was like, by the way, here's a thrift store within your 2-minute radius or your 5-block radius. And I'd be like, okay, cool. That's a known, I know about that one. Thank you. But that would work wherever I go, when I travel across the states, different countries. I just want to know without always having to stare at my phone or search.
So are you thinking that it's going to, like, am I going to enter ahead of time, hey, dog parks and thrift stores? Or is it just going to be watching you to be like, Brandon, like, really likes Starbucks over here. Every time I pass a Starbucks, I got to let him know.
You could suggest, yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely, I think if you entered categories like I like thrift stores, dog parks, and cafes, you can start to, find fusions or you can have suggestions as well. Hey, we notice you're really desperate to go to that, insert obscure store, restaurant, you've never been to a Sonic.
Leo, we see you're 300 miles from a micro center.
Yeah, you've always wanted to go. So it's just an idea that I feel like, I don't know, I would use it I would want to be notified regularly.
Yeah, especially in new towns. I like that a lot.
In new towns and traveling.
And every mapping service is like 90% of the way to building this, and they just need that last little like one setting screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it seems like it would provide them with great information. You're essentially, instead of being like reviewing a store or a restaurant with 3 or 4 stars, you're essentially giving them insight into places you might not have even been to before. And you're giving it like, I'll go 50 miles, 60 miles. You're giving them great consumer insight into like how desperate you are for that service, that thing. It's extremely valuable, but somehow I feel like I just get the feeling like it's too cool. It's just too, it makes too much sense. They're not going to make it. So if anybody's out there ready to make that app, I will use it.
They're working on ring urns instead. I got you.
The Google Mapses and Apple Mapses of the world are already like doing, we think you're interested in this business, like recommendations and stuff too. That part's already even been done. It's literally just
setting radius.
Notify me, please, on category. Yeah,
give them the category radius. and give them the radius, and that's it. It's a straightforward. It's nothing tricky, but I don't know. Yeah. I get this disheartened feeling like I'm not gonna see it. If I was a programmer, I'd make it myself. But
Google Maps has location sharing, so you can share with a partner or a friend, like, hey, here's where I'm at in perpetuity. And if you do that mode, you can even say on your end, please let me know when the other person enters or exits a defined radius of a place. And so whenever, for example, my wife goes to hockey, it'll be like, hey, she arrived there safely when I get it. And she's told that I did that, and I'm told that I did that. And it's just a cool way to like set up a little, hey, don't worry, they got home. Don't worry, they made it to the airport, whatever. That is like 98% of the way to what you want.
It's there. It's mostly there.
It kills me.
But that last like 2 or 3%, that last 2 or 3% is like make or break for me. I mean, that's what I want.
Oh, this is an OpenStreetMap too if you wanted to build it yourself.
Dude, this would be awesome. Like, you call it pit stop or something, right? Or like, you're just like an aimless traveler, right? And so you just, okay, I'm going to go south. Like, so me, when I travel to Florida, like if I were to drive and I have kids, it would be awesome if there was some cool pit stop 3 minutes away. Like I can set the time distance, right? Definitely
how
a
far
place to
off your
stop.
track, yeah.
Right,
Tourist
and if
trap.
How far you're willing to drive off your route.
I'm willing to drive off my route as long as it's not like 10 minutes out and then I get there and then we're only there for 10 minutes because it sucks and then we go back another 10 minutes, right? Like it'd be awesome if there was just like little happy stops along the way, like even a site like along the I drive to Chicago a bunch and there's like this one path like an overlook. It's like on top of a dune or something. I've never gone on that overpath, but I've always thought like, oh, it'd be so cool to see that. That would be a perfect little stop for like 30 minutes. All right, we're going to get out of the freaking car, But those, like, it'd be great for road trips when you're just looking for a little relief from being in the car. And then, if you set your little, let's say your categories or whatever, you can always be skipping over it, or you might stop early. And hell, if I'm that business owner, like, I want that I want to advertise for that. I want to, every time somebody passes, like that's how I make my money, right? It's also such a huge pain in the ass. I don't know why using Google Maps and Apple Maps to just like find a gas station while you're driving.
Absolutely.
Right?
Along the route.
Like, can you
Why is this not solved? It's bizarre.
get me the best gas station, please? Like, Google, can you figure that out? Here's 40 gas stations behind you and in front of you that you could totally waste your time looking at dangerously while driving, right? It's like, just the next one, please. Like, just,
It's especially nice if you have like a loyalty card for a particular gas station and you don't just want to like Google that gas
Tell to
station. You just want to
prioritize.
know anytime I'm by a Shell, I'm going to stop at Shell and can use my rewards card.
oh, that'd be so nice. Yeah, like I never like stopping at BP's just because of that damn oil spill, I just try to...
We're the same way, yeah.
And it comes since 11.
I'm surprised they're still there. Like, who shops at this anymore? But you can do the anti-pit stop. Like, I do not want to be 5 miles within.
Take my route all the way around this
Well,
BP.
see, which is cool because it's something. Now, this is tangent, but on the same route, like if you could also pick types of routes that like have the map route you based on more like I want to take a particularly more scenic route, or I want to take. These are just features I feel like are lacking from maps. I want to take a route that brings me by the most national parks. But I mean, you can sit there and search them, but it should be a simple. Especially in the fusion of AI, like I should be able to just type, this is the kind of route I want to take, and it should give you a route that takes you by the most historic homes, etc., without you having to sit there and individually pick them and map it out and reroute them so that it's the most efficient.
I would love to see, hey, I'm at home. I'm going to Target. Bring me by as many national parks as possible. See where it
You didn't
ends
know
up.
there was one in your own backyard.
38-hour detour. Yeah.
This actually ties in perfectly with my idea,
Excellent.
if we're willing
Daisy
to.
I like the
chain.
fusion. I
Get
like
over
the
'em.
fusion we got going on here. Yeah.
I love it.
Synergy.
Yep. We're all tied together.
All right, Scott, what do you got?
I saved this one for you, Brandon, because you have traveled more than most people that I know. And my little sister is currently in Vietnam right now. And I talked to her yesterday. She was saying, I don't know anything about this country. I'm just here with friends exploring. I just wish I had a local to help me with stuff. And this is a similar idea to what Russell's had before, but I just want to be able to have an app where I'm in a new city, I can dial a local or just hit a button and a local will pop up on my phone either through text or video and just ask them recommendations. What is the best place to eat that you like? Am I getting screwed over by this guy haggling with me right now? Like, hey, is there anything going on in this weekend or whatnot? And that's it. Just a very simple call a local in order to figure out what's going on in this new place I've never been. And you could have, if you can't find enough people or when you're starting out, you could have a AI for the back of end of it. But eventually you're going to start getting enough people that this could be a legit thing.
Whoa.
I like that. Right when you said that, I'm imagining the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire being like the
phone a friend.
being the ringtone when you call in. It's like you've
Absolutely.
connected to your phone a friend.
These are going to be like vetted people too, the 5-star ratings, all that stuff.
We were in the Virgin Islands a couple of weeks ago for an anniversary trip, and it was lovely. But one of the evenings we were driving to dinner, and there was some sort of like fundraiser walk thing that maybe was like a 5K sort of thing, but it was in the evening. Everyone had glow sticks. It looked really interesting. No information about it anywhere. No information that looked like the starting or end point. No website that we could find from cursory Googling. Our waiter, who was on like way outside of town at the restaurant we ended up at eventually, didn't know what we were talking about. Would love to like figure out what that was. I could have called a local right then and been like, right now, what is happening? Or like you said, what's going on this weekend? What's the best dive bar? Not just recommendations for, hey, where should I eat? But also like the hardcore information.
Yeah,
stuff.
the insight.
Yeah,
exactly.
the insights. Like, I am at this thing. What does it mean? Or things that, locals would know. I love that.
Honestly, even logistics too. You were saying you're in Virgin Islands. I got to take a ferry from point A to point B. I've never done this before. There's like 18 different ferries on different days of the week and hour. Which one should I do in order to get from here to here? Who's a local that knows this?
I think it's great for cultural exchange, especially if you're creating profiles and you're able to catch up with that person later. Then you can also share some of your, in your context, your cultural background and experience. It's a neat way to build connections like that too.
Love that.
So you know how the Meta glasses were like all over the Super Bowl this year? I feel like that'd be so perfect. You buy one of those, immediately connect to somebody, and now they're literally seeing and you're talking to them like that, right? Yep. Where the heck am I? Oh, you were in a dangerous area.
No, don't go that
Get
way.
out of there.
Yeah.
Like, or
Take that headset off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great application, Russell.
Check this out. Have you done this yet? So 1-800-CHATGPT when you call.
What?
No. Call GPT.
Hi, I'm ChatGPT, an AI assistant. Just so you know, our conversation may be reviewed for safety.
Are you kidding?
So, how can I help you today?
I'm driving right now on the highway. I'm on the south side of Grand Rapids on my way to the airport, and there's this big pyramid building over on the side. What is that?
Oh, that pyramid building is the Steelcase Pyramid, also known as the Pyramid Campus.
No shit.
It used to be the headquarters for Steelcase, a furniture company. Now, it's home to a data center and various other businesses. It's a pretty unique landmark, isn't it?
Yeah. How old is Justin Bieber again?
Justin Bieber was born on March 1st, 1994.
Anyway, yeah. So I've used that as a party trick a couple of times. It's free, and you can only do it a few times a month or something per phone number. But that kind of thing is fun to think like, wow, an AI could do this. But I feel like they still wouldn't know, like, oh, that's the real good noodles place that just opened up or whatever, right? Like, it's getting closer, and it's a fun party trick.
On that note, I've had multiple of my elderly parents' friends ask me, AI, what is it? How does it work? I'm just going to call that number from now on. Be like, oh, no, you just call this number, and then you can talk to a robot.
They gave that as a service. They don't have to log in, obviously, or anything, right before Christmas, and that was, I think, why. So that people were going home to their friends and family, and they could show that off, yeah.
That's so smart.
It's a cool way to, like, demonstrate it, and if you can come up with some interesting prompts to, like, show on speakerphone in front of Grandma, she might be interested.
The concern I think I have for the idea, the challenge, the obstacle to overcome is how do you prevent locals from becoming just career? I recommend the same 4 restaurants and they give me all this kickback. Like, how do you prevent that?
That's the best part, though. That's going to incentivize locals to be the first ones on this for the new town. Because, oh yeah, you should go to the such and such breakfast nook because my brother-in-law owns it. You know,
we really love Subway sandwiches here.
Subway, have it your way.
Oh, this apron? I bought it at a Goodwill.
That's interesting, though. How do you make sure that it's an unbiased, like, not even just the local whatever, but that it's not sponsored results?
Casual Uber 5-star rating systems. That's all you
go,
can do.
you get a bad burger, you rate the person who recommended it poorly.
This guy gave me a bad recommendation.
It's yelping on the person who it's like all the people who rated it in Yelp, but you're rating them. You know what I mean?
That was a Black Mirror episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Everyone has a
Or
rating.
Meow Meow Beans.
Yes, Meow Beans.
So, like, you know what? I think this would be one amazing for tourism. So, like, I think maybe you were thinking of this, like, Scott, but, like, every town would want to connect somebody to a local because that would just mix it up a bit. Because, like, whenever you go to a town and you're on, like, Yelp or Travel Advisor or TripAdvisor, you're like, is this really the best restaurant locals like? And you're never really sure. And then you go, you know, hang out with your friend months later. Oh, yeah, I was in this little town. They're like, oh, did you go to that restaurant? What one? The one that everyone goes to. And you're like, no, I didn't go there. So now you're like, that's what I hate the FOMO aspect. And so if there was like the local, like, yeah, what options are you looking for? You know, and you have a true guide, like a career professional at that, that'd be so beneficial, especially for like, yeah, cities. Every city would have a, you know, a 411 or a, you know, a whatever. We'd have a different 11. 711 for fun. 711 for fun.
Yeah.
Local. Okay, wait a second. That's a love corner.
Careful in there.
But Scott, we'll incorporate that idea so that whenever we'll incorporate with the maps idea, wherever you're walking around, when you're within 10 minutes of one of these locals that's ready to show you around, it lets you know and you go up to them.
You gotta be careful with these locals.
Yeah, you're teetering on the edge of the world's oldest profession, I think. Hot local Starbucks in your area.
That would be a rom-com, though. You just made a rom-com. Just like, oh, I love this tour guide. Helps me all over the place.
It's ChatGPT.
I just keep calling, asking for recommendations, but then I found out he's a robot.
Yeah, he's AI the whole time.
And then they find love anyway.
All right, Russell.
Yeah.
I hope you're sticking with the theme here.
What
yeah.
idea did you bring that fits perfectly with our other three ideas?
Oh, I got something completely different.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
and it's my first AI idea, but I think this is actually a really good
Put
one.
it all in the swear jar.
All right. This is so whenever a new news article comes out, right? Like some headline, some huge big article, I end up trying to read like 8 different websites version of that same news article, and it's such a pain. And then I don't know why, but then I end up reading all the comments and seeing what that's going on, you know, and that's all a whole nightmare, right? And so what I was thinking about is like, man, if only there was a Wikipedia site for news, like live news. So a mix of like combining all these news articles versions together,
Whoa.
having people comment, just like so comment mimicking Reddit a little bit, but with like live news, you capture history and also what was being said about it, right? And so what's beneficial with the only reason this would work is because maybe the AI layer would actually read all 100 versions of the news article, synthesize a non-biased, non-political version, let's say maybe matter of facts, maybe not factual version of all those articles together, create a new article, the Wikipedia page, right? The true news.
Without all the every second ad that you have to scroll by.
Possible to read the news anymore, right? You know, it's like, I mean, besides all the politics or whatever, right? It's just more like, I kind of want to see what everybody's saying about it, but I don't have the time to read 8 different versions of it, right?
Sure.
I really like this idea. My background's in journalism, and one of the websites, I don't remember the name offhand. It's been a while since I looked at it, but it would send you in an email like top news or political points or news things, and it would literally show you the Democrat viewpoint and the Republican viewpoint in like a very short 1-paragraph version of each and their perspectives. And I just thought like it was always a pretty well balanced. It just showed you this is what they think, this is what they think. And it was cool to get that. So having something that would do that for different news stories and kind of do it like you said live, I think that'd be a really great way to get the gist of information without having to sit and parse through piece by piece.
It's ground
and
news.
Open.
I've heard of them. There's a startup that does that where you'll get the like news article with a blue and a red slider, and you can kind of adjust.
That's really cool.
Whoa, that's cool.
Well, that's and
Yeah.
then like what would be great is you have the community upvoting different articles that are maybe more factual. You could have the community upload like live true like information like so like let's say I was in DC when like a plane crashed or whatever, but like people uploads they end up what they're doing is they upload all these like legit clips of real things that actually happened. There's no news media behind it. You would like these are from people.
Yeah, I remember finding out about the Boston Marathon like a half hour before it hit the news because it was on the front page of Reddit.
Yeah.
2011, 2012, whatever that was.
Probably
yeah.
some guy was there, had a video going,
Yeah.
and just uploaded
Exactly.
it to Twitter. It's
Instantly.
like this. What do they call it when there's like a when you're writing a paper or whatever? It's a primary source. Is that what it is? Like it's like this is.
Yeah.
This is that. Like you have all the primary sources, you have all the news media versions. People upvote the ones that are good that might be bad. What's cool is like how we would make money is maybe all these news sources are trying to up their rating based on the community sentiment, or like you can help set that up and you get analytics to say, oh, everybody thinks our articles are shit because they're downvoting the hell out of it every time somebody posts like our link in this, the news page, right? So there's just like a self-feeding machine, I think, and it brings power back to the people who read the news. And because of the AI, it's a robot. In theory, if you program the robot, there should be no biases, right? Right? I know somebody's got to fix the robot to be unbiased, right? And maybe people are biased about robots, but that's on them, right? I think there's something there that we can maybe make it not leaning in any direction or and that's where I thought the AI layer is like kind of cool.
What I like about this is it invites more more international perspective where you can quickly draw from other articles in other languages and then bring them into English or whatever the target the end language is, and you're trying to draw not just from the US but literally other news sources and parsing through that. That's really interesting too. I know when we talk about travel, we kind of have the travel theme here, and it still works, Russell. You're right on board with us here.
It's good. I'm glad.
I was in South Korea. When I was in South Korea, I visited the border between South Korea and North Korea. It's called Panmunjom. It's a joint security zone. They've technically been at an armistice, a ceasefire, but they've been at war for however many years now, 50 years or something. I don't remember exactly. Now, when I went there, doing the tour, literally as I'm going there, taking the bus to the joint security zone that's shared between North and South Korea, the driver was telling us, oh yeah, just recently, they're giving us history on that zone. And he said, yeah, just last week, a soldier got his leg blown off by a landmine. But he said that these landmines have been there for 30, 40, 50 years, right? They've been there for so long and erosion has moved them. This is what the bus driver saw us. He's like, it's really anybody's guess who who put the landmine there. And it didn't even matter because it wasn't like it was an intentional attack, right? The guards take these routes regularly. The erosion had caused it. Well, it was interesting because they let us then go ahead and tour the joint security zone. Well, that was my last thing there, and about 2 days later, I'm back in the U.S. Well, that same story is like international news here. It was news here for like a month about, wow, is it possible? Basically, the U.S. was like, did the North Koreans put a mine there to blow up a soldier? And they made it seem like it was this very recent, relevant mine, like some soldier had put it out there. And meanwhile, even South Korean soldiers were like, nope, you can still tour. Don't worry, we've cleared this track route. So having that sort of international news, drawing it from it, really helps break down those barriers. I think it's a really cool concept or great idea.
Oh yeah, that's super interesting. I think like the BBC articles sometimes are more unbiased than like the US ones, so it's like cool. And it'd be great if people rated like, oh, the BBC one's great, all right, and
They're so dry. It's great. It's just like a list of facts. A mine was in South Korea. It rushed up from erosion. It was detonated. Like, it's the best.
there's no
Yes,
sensationalism.
I also use the BBC. No, not at all. Wikipedia and the Wikimedia Foundation run a wiki news, like crowdsourced, one page, one wiki thing per news event. And it's not very popular.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the thing that they need to like revitalize it. I think it's at wikinews.org, but yeah, it'd be really cool to like have a reason to go there.
Right.
I don't want to be a jerk about it, but like I don't really visit that as much. Yeah, wikinews.org. I don't really use this much, and maybe this is the zhuzh that'll get them up and becoming something.
I think this is just like a combination of like using AI to read every popular news network, finding the matching stories, because literally they just copy each other anyway, right? And probably write it in AI. And so you just throw it all together in one spot, all the things that all these major news outlets or not, right? That's where other people, the community plugs in and adds more. You just create like even just a hub of this one news story is kind of cool, like a piece of history. And yeah, it's something that Wikipedia can't do. And I guess I was wondering too, like maybe, I don't know how Wikipedia does it well, but like people are able to just edit their articles.
Amazing.
And it's somehow like probably the most factual stuff out there, right? Because the community, I don't know, manages it really well. But if we could apply that to these like let's say the source article that the AI generates or whatever, it'd be really interesting to see like, you know, the top comment that gets hundreds of thousands of upvotes gets incorporated into what the AI puts as news, right? Or like its bias is weighed on the ones that are the people agree on. I want this to exist. I definitely don't want to run it because I feel like as soon as I launch something like this, I would get targeted by every terrorist.
I was just thinking that they would all come for you.
Local or outside of local, right?
And all the news sites would hate you too. Scraping their content.
But I think this is the perfect startup for like, this is like the unicorn startup that some crazy person could do because it's a perfect mix of solving the fake news problem and it's AI and it's what people want. So I've been sitting on that one for a little bit.
It'd be fun if you could take all these news articles and rewrite it in your own custom style. Like make the top 3 news headlines for today, but write them satirical and funny and exaggerated, or write them in a way where they are using analogies like insects because I'm a bug scientist or whatever. I don't know. This is my domain. Use these kinds of analogies. I don't know.
Insert fart jokes every 2 minutes.
Describe the world news as a haiku.
We all have our own version.
A haiku about every one of you just had your own.
That's
like a multiverse.
That's all I get every day is one haiku.
One haiku per news article. That's fun. And then burn it onto your toast.
You could see that in like in a newspaper, or on the you open up your daily toast, and there it is.
Well, dear listener, if you're enjoying our podcast over your morning toast, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and thank you so much, Brandon, for joining us. This is great.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's really
a delight.
Really enjoyable experience. Get some ideas to brain juices flowing.
We were on the same page tonight. It was great. Yeah. Our website is spitball.show. There you can find links to our YouTube channel, other social media. We're on Blue Sky at spitball.show. Email us feedback, comments, ideas. We'd really love to hear from you. We're podcast at spitball.show. And that's also how you can follow us in the Fediverse, such as Mastodon. We are podcast at spitball.show. Our subreddits are /spitballshow. Our intro-outro music is Swingers by Bonkers Beat Club. If you wouldn't mind, that one friend of yours who's always gone out of the office, like how do they even have this much vacation left up? They're just traveling everywhere all the time. They need something to listen to on the plane. Send them a link to our show. We'd love to have them as a listener. Also, please leave us a review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is that you're listening on. That really helps people find out about the show. New episode is coming out in 2 weeks. We'll see you then.